Hey, reimagineers. Welcome back to the Disney Magical Mindset Podcast, the place where we take the magic, lessons, stories, and inspiration we love about Disney and bring them into our everyday lives. My name is Ruben, and I'm your host. And wow, it feels so good to say that again because it's actually been a few weeks that I released an episode. And so being here means the world to me. And I could give you all the kinds of reasons why. I've been traveling. Life has been busy, I know, for many of us. There have been a lot of things happening in my life, a lot of great things. But if I'm really looking at what was going on underneath all of it, I think I got a little lost. Yeah, it's kind of weird to say that, right? Because not lost in whether I love Disney. I love Disney. I really do. In fact, if you're listening to this episode during this week, the week of D23, it's the biggest week for Disney fans all over the world, D23. So not lost in whether I love Disney, not lost in whether I love storytelling, speaking, podcasting, creating, or encouraging people. I absolutely do with my whole heart. I really do. I think I got lost in what I was expecting all of this to become. Yeah, have you ever had that where you imagine something or you dream something, you believe something, and it doesn't happen in the time that you want, or it doesn't come to fruition the way that you expected? And that brings me to the question I want to talk about today. What happens when the dream stops feeling magical? Oh, yeah, we're going to go in today, friends. We're going to talk about this because maybe you've been there too. You started something because you loved it. Isn't that why we dream and we do the things that we do to get that dream and to make it happen? And so maybe for you, it was a dream or a business or a creative project, or perhaps it was a relationship that you got into, or a career, a calling, something that was just pressing heavy on your heart. And you're like, I gotta do this. And you couldn't stop thinking about it. You'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. Man, it'd be on your mind the entire day. And somewhere along the way, the thing that once gave you life started draining it from you. Whew. And maybe the dream isn't the problem. Maybe we've just forgotten why we started dreaming in the first place. So if you're ready, come on, let's do this, 'cause here we go. I started this podcast in 2025 in January. I went an entire year and a half producing a weekly episode. I genuinely believe there were lessons hidden inside the stories and places we love. I believe Disneyland could teach us something about life. I believe Walt's story, my hero and your hero, could teach us about dreaming big, about failure and persistence. I believe Peter Pan, my favorite Disney character, could remind us not to lose our sense of wonder. Dumbo could remind us that maybe we never needed the feather. In fact, we didn't need the feather to fly. That the Haunted Mansion could even teach us something about the things we're afraid of. I love bringing out those life lessons and magical principles to apply. That's what I love about this. And I still do. But then something slowly started changing. I don't know if you've ever been there in your life experience where you do something and you're just pumped and excited. And then there's like this shift that takes place. And I'll tell you what happened. Downloads mattered. They started to matter. Views mattered. Followers mattered. And being noticed mattered. And I want to be clear about something. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting those things, okay? Can we just get that out there? There's nothing wrong with wanting any of those things. I would love for this podcast to continue to grow. I'd love for this work to open doors. I'd love for Disney to someday recognize what I'm creating. And yes, I'd love for some of the thousands of hours I put into creating content to eventually become financially sustainable. Those aren't bad dreams. The problem, you ready for the problem? The problem comes when the dream stops being something you're pursuing and starts becoming the thing you're asking to tell you whether you're enough. Woo! Oh my goodness. I'm excited about this podcast, friends. This is one of those episodes I will go back to. So remember, those dreams aren't bad dreams. The problem comes when the dream stops being something you're pursuing and starts becoming the thing you're asking to tell you whether you're enough. See, that's different because now every post that doesn't perform feels personal. Every opportunity someone else gets feels like evidence that you're falling behind. Every download becomes a scoreboard. Every closed door becomes a verdict. And something that once felt like Neverland starts feeling a whole lot more like Worryland. Ooh, and I just talked about that, right? You have the option. You're going to either live in Wonderland or Worryland. I've been there, and maybe you have too. So I've been asking myself a different question lately. Here's the question. Here's the question that I want to encourage you to ask. What if I could still want the dream without needing the dream to validate me? What if I could still want the dream without needing the dream to validate me? And that's where I want to give you three today. 3 magical mindset lessons that I've been learning. Are you ready for lesson 1? Here's lesson number 1. Remember why you went to Neverland. You know how much I love Neverland. Any opportunity I get to talk about Neverland, Peter Pan, we're going to make it happen. And one of my favorite Disney films, of course, has always been Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan's flight. In fact, my favorite ride now is Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure in Tokyo Disney Sea. It is so incredible. You know, I think there's something beautiful about Neverland. Neverland isn't really about refusing to grow up. You got to know already that's going to happen. Like you go to Neverland, I know that's the mindset we carry with us because there's something about that. But it's deeper. There's so much more. I think Neverland represents that part of us that still believes. Yeah. Right? The part that imagines, the part that wonders, the part that sees possibilities adults have learned to dismiss. And somewhere along the way, we can turn Neverland into a destination we're trying to conquer. So we start asking, how many people saw it? How many people liked it? Did anybody important notice it? Did it make money? Did it work? And those questions aren't always wrong, but they can make us forget the most important question. And this is the most important question about Neverland. And I used to think it's about never growing up. And we know it's just a given. It's part of it. That is Neverland. We already understand that. It's part of why we're attracted to it. But here's a deeper question. I think here's a better question. Why did I fly here in the first place? Ooh, wow. Take a moment to just pause. And if you're going to go to Neverland with me, like I love to go, it's not just about not growing up. Because at some point, you got to come back. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to leave Neverland. You can't stay there always and stay there forever. At some point, you're going to get on the ride and you're going to go through London and it's beautiful and it's the best. And then finally, you're going to follow that second start of the ride and then straight on to morning and you hit Neverland. But at some point, you're going to come out of it and you're going to come back. So it's not about simply just never growing up. It's about why did I fly here in the first place? Think about your dream. Before anybody applauded it, before there were numbers attached to it, before there were followers, titles, promotions, money, recognition, or expectations, what did you love about it? And for me, I love telling stories. I love encouraging people and seeing people walk away with hope and the belief that they can reimagine what's possible. Like I love discovering some little piece of Disney history and thinking, oh my goodness, somebody else needs to hear this. I love taking something from Disneyland and connecting it to what someone might be going through in their actual life. That's still there. I just have to protect it. And maybe you do too. And sometimes finding your way forward starts by remembering why. Why did you go to Neverland in the first place? It wasn't simply to not grow up. It's deeper than that. And when you discover why you fly there in the first place, that's when you begin to start uncovering and remembering why you love Neverland and why you decided to fly there in the first place. Yeah, off to Neverland. Let's go on to lesson 2. It's a very important one. You can want the castle without needing the castle. Let me say that again. I want to be clear. You can want the castle without needing the castle. Think about walking into Disneyland or the Magic Kingdom, and you pass underneath the railroad tracks. You walk through the tunnel, underneath the berm, you step onto Main Street, and there it is. Sleeping Beauty Castle, Cinderella Castle, and you naturally, you're drawn toward it, right? Like you can't miss it. It's the thing that you see walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. And that's what dreams do. They give us something in the distance to move toward. But here's what I've been learning. You can want the castle without making the castle responsible for your happiness. Woo! I needed that one. You can want the castle without making the castle responsible for your happiness. Now, don't get me wrong. I love being in a Disney park. I'm going to be there this week. I love it. There's nothing like it. But I keep wanting to remind you that you don't have to be in a Disney park in order to experience the joy, happiness, purpose, life, even when you're not walking down the middle of Main Street. I still have castles I'm walking toward. There are things I want to accomplish, places I want to speak, stories I want to tell, things I want to create, doors I'd love to see open. I'm not giving those up. And I don't think you should give up yours either, okay? We got to keep going for it, keep going towards the castle. But I'm learning that I can't postpone joy until I arrive. I'll be happy when they notice me, when I get the promotion, when the numbers grow, when the business works, when I lose the weight, when I get the house, when somebody finally recognizes what I bring to the table. No, I'm not waiting for that. I'm not going to postpone my joy until I arrive. I'm going to live out my joy today because there's so much that I miss or you miss waiting for someone to tell you something that you should know about yourself already. You are amazing. You bring so much magic to the world, and you don't have to postpone your joy until you get to the castle. You get to see it off in the distance and still experience joy, still experience happiness, still experience the magic while you keep on making your way towards the castle, because you can want the castle without making the castle responsible for your happiness. Because here's the problem. You can spend your entire walk down Main Street staring at the castle and completely miss what's happening around you. Isn't that the beauty of Main Street? Yes, there's the castle. That's the main draw. We're all walking towards that, right? Towards the hub. And then we get to decide where we want to go. But it's the castle that draws you in. But there's so much more on Main Street. The music, the windows, the smells, the Dapper Dans, the ride vehicles that you see, the omnibus. I mean, there's the band, the Disneyland band. There's so much, the little details, the life happening right now. And maybe that's one of the greatest dangers of ambition, is we become so focused on the life we're trying to build that we stop experiencing the life we already have. Man. So keep walking toward the castle. Just don't miss Main Street getting there. And I don't think Walt would ever want you to miss the Main Street that was so special to him as you make your way to the castle. The final lesson, lesson 3, is this: the magic was never their recognition. The magic was never their recognition. This might be the biggest lesson for me. Recognition feels good. Let's just say that. My love language, one of my love languages is words of affirmation. So recognition feels good. Being chosen feels good. Being invited feels good. Being people applauding you feels good, and seeing something you created succeed, it feels good. But there's a danger in allowing other people to become the keepers of your magic. Ooh, I just said something. I'm gonna say it again. There's a danger in allowing other people to become the keepers of your magic, because then they get to decide when you're allowed to feel successful. And I've been thinking about that phrase I've shared so many times, helping you create your own happiest place on earth. You get to create your very own happiest place on earth. And maybe I've been teaching that lesson because I needed to learn it too. That your happiest place on earth can't only exist when everybody recognizes you. It can only exist when everything works, or it can only exist when the dream happens exactly the way you imagined. Maybe creating your own happiest place on earth means learning to love the dream again without demanding that the dream love you back. Ooh, my goodness. Yeah. Create because you have something worth saying. Dream because dreaming makes you come alive. Apply for the opportunity. Knock on the door. Build the thing. Write the book. Start the podcast. Send the email. Call the friend. Take the risk. Believe something incredible could still happen, but don't give the outcome permission to determine your worth. Because maybe the magic was never their recognition. Maybe the magic was that the dream awakened something inside of you, the courage, the creativity, the imagination, the perseverance, the willingness to take the risk, the person you've become while pursuing it. That's magic too, friends. That's magic too, and we can't miss that. See, I've been thinking a lot about this. So where does that leave me? I'm still dreaming big. I'm still dreaming big. I'm still going to Disneyland, which I love so much. I'm so grateful that I get to go so often like I do. I'm still telling Disney stories. I'm still fascinated by my hero, Walt Disney. I'm still making videos of my experiences in Disneyland, and probably going to continue to spend money on Peter Pan merchandise. I'm still looking for that art piece that I love from Disney. Anna, I know I probably don't need it, but I want it, right? Some things aren't changing, but I want to create differently. I want to create from a place of wholeness instead of creating because I'm hoping achievement will somehow make me whole. Ooh, yeah, there's something about creating from wholeness instead of creating to be whole. You're creating from a place of health and wholeness. I want this podcast to be a place where Disney meets real life, where we can talk about dreams and fear and imagination and failure and faith and family and becoming the people that we know we were meant to be. Sometimes we'll talk about Walt Disney. In fact, a lot of times we will. And Disneyland, the happiest place on earth, my favorite. Sometimes, yeah, it's going to be a Disney movie that we watched 100 times growing up, but it still means so much. And sometimes we might simply just talk about life, because I don't want to chase the algorithm so hard that I lose the reason I started creating. Come on, Ruben. Yeah. And maybe there's something in your life where you need to give yourself that same permission. You don't necessarily have to quit. You might just need to change your why. Why are you going to Neverland? You might just need to loosen your grip. You might need to stop asking the dream, am I enough yet? And start asking, who am I becoming while I pursue this? That's part of the dream. So my dear Reimagineer friends, maybe today you feel a little lost, and that's okay. Maybe something that once brought you joy feels heavy. Maybe you've been wondering if you should quit. And maybe some dreams have seasons. Some dreams change. Some things need to end. But maybe yours doesn't. Maybe you don't need a new dream. Maybe you just need a healthier relationship with the dream you already have. And I hope that this podcast episode brought you that today. I hope it helped you answer that question. One where you can pursue this dream without being consumed by it. One where you can work hard and still rest. One where you can celebrate someone else's castle without believing theirs somehow cancels yours. One where you can still hope the door opens without standing outside that door your entire life. So today, I want you to ask yourself one question as you think about this over the week. Before I needed this dream to become something, what did I love about it? Before I needed this dream to become something, what did I love about it? Go find that again. Go find the curiosity. Go find the joy. Go find the wonder. Go find your Neverland, because the magic was never somebody else's recognition. The magic was always what the dream awakened in you. That's the magic, friends. That's the magic. Oh, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for hanging with me today on the Disney Magical Mindset Podcast. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your life, for allowing me to share and help you, I hope today, experience a little more magic in your life. And if you've been here waiting for another episode, thank you so much. Seriously, I'm excited about where we're going from here. And before I go, just a little update about the podcast. Moving forward, I'm going to be hanging out with you here every other week, okay? So every other week, I'll be hanging with my Reimagineer friends. I love this podcast so much, and I want to give these conversations a little more room to breathe. I want to live some life, notice the lessons along the way, and make sure that when I sit behind this microphone, I actually have something meaningful and magical to share with you. So we're not going anywhere. We're just creating a little differently, and I'm really excited about what's ahead. And friends, if this episode connected with you, would you please send it to somebody who's been carrying their dream a little too heavily lately? And if you haven't already, please follow the Disney Magical Mindset Podcast so you don't miss an episode. Please, it would mean the world to me if you would be able to leave a review so that we can continue to share this magic with others. And remember always that you are the magic, because the magic is in you.